baby.
Hey, Jim. Welcome to the 1978 Bluebird FC31 Wanderlodge. Today I'm going to try to do a little something in the kitchen here to try and make it a little bit better. The Bluebirds all come with a cooktop, a stove cover. The old vintage Bluebirds come with this stove cover that's got like a glass insert in it that looks like it's got all sorts of wild birds. Let me show you. Yeah, we got our nice microwave right here. And you see right here underneath is our stove. And I've noticed most vintage Bluebirds have this kind of a stove cover. And I guess it's supposed to make it so you have an extension of your countertops to make it more useful space. But this glass thing, I mean, it's rough, so it wouldn't be very good as a cutting board. Plus, it's got this edge here, so if you're cutting anything that's juicy, any juices that run out are going to go into this crack. And if you look from underneath, it's just a piece of glass set in there. So it's not a very good idea for a cutting board or anything else. It's more decorative as far as I can tell. I guess it'd be cool if you could light it from underneath, maybe. Let me try that. Yeah, it's kind of cool with the light underneath it. But even so, it's just silly. So I think what I'm going to try to do here today is I'm going to remove this. I mean, it's not even really attached on here very good. I'm not picking it up really. It just slides around, so it's just sitting there by gravity. So I think I'm going to pull this whole thing off, and I'm going to try to make one out of some butcher block that I have left over, and I'm going to try to make a new one that's actually a cutting board that fits here. And I might even make these. I mean, these sink covers here, they're they're okay, but I might even, we'll see. If this comes out good with a butcher block, I might make sink covers out of butcher block. But let's start out with this thing. And when I'm done, if I get a piece that replaces this well, then I'm going to put this whole piece, I think, or at least the glass insert, if not maybe this whole thing, on eBay and offer it up to the rest of the world. Because I imagine this piece of glass might be valuable to somebody else that has a vintage Bluebird, and this has been broken. But meanwhile, I'm kind of hungry, so I'm going to go get some tacos. And I'm going to try to do it in the broken Mercedes. I wish the transmission worked on this car, because I had to tell everybody that we just bought our tickets yesterday. Come on, baby. Yeah. We just bought our tickets yesterday for the duct tape drags being held by the gang of Motor Trend's Roadkill. I don't know if anybody's watched that. I'm sure some of you have. It's a really funny show. Gone back for years. Not last year, in January of 2020, we attended the Roadkill zip tie drags at Tucson Speedway. Dragway, I guess is what it is. It's a drag racing venue. And they're having it again finally now that COVID's, sort of started to get better, but now it's getting worse again because all of the anti-vax retards. Those million folks. Anyway, we wanted to go again because we had a really good time last time in January 2020, and we just bought our tickets, and it's being held October 1st and 2nd, again in Tucson, Arizona. So I got to get the motorhome ready because we're going to take the Bluebird to Tucson, Arizona for October 1st and 2nd and spend a couple of nights dry camping in the parking lot of the Tucson Speedway. So we have that to look forward to, and that's a good reason for me to continue to rapidly work on this Bluebird to get it good to go, because we don't want any problems if we can possibly avoid it. And then that will be a kind of a practice trip before we attempt to drive the motorhome all the way across the country, 2,500 or 3,000 miles to North Carolina from where we are now in Southern California. So anyway, here I am. I'm going to drive this Mercedes. Hopefully it'll drive good enough to go get some tacos. And really why I started telling y'all about the Tucson thing is because I really wanted to bring this car. I wanted to bring it and use it in the burnout pit and even drag race it and just thrash the shit out of it until it blows up or tires explode or who knows. I just wanted to take this car and pound it into pulp, but I can't do that if the transmission isn't functioning decently. So I don't think I'm going to have time to fix the transmission before October 1st because I got a bunch of stuff still going on in the house. You know what? When I get back with my tacos, I'm going to show you a real quick couple little glimpses of a couple of things I've done in the house in the last couple months. All right. How bad can it be? All right. Seems to be running okay. I just keep waiting for it to just go BAM! And slam itself into park or something while we're going 40 miles an hour. I don't trust the transmission at all. Although it's behaving pretty good right now. I really do love this car. I wish I could figure out the transmission. People are saying I should replace the whole conductor plate valve body, and to do that I need some really good computers to program everything to match the car. So I'm gonna have to keep looking into that. I'm scared. I just know it's gonna break. You know what it's gonna do is it's gonna put itself in neutral right when I'm on a left turn lane in the middle of a big intersection, or it'll stick me somewhere bad like that. But so far it's running great. It's just trying to suck me in. Uh-oh. It just put itself into limp mode. So I'm going to shut it off. I'm in the middle of an intersection. It won't restart. Okay, it's not restarting. Son of a bitch, and I'm in the middle of an intersection. Come on, baby. Nope. It's dead. It's not starting. Okay, I got her started again, but it's really struggling. It's in limp mode. I had to sit there at the intersection for almost the entire cycle. I had my hazards on. A lady behind me was getting angry and honking her horn. Generally, when someone has their hazards on at a green light and they're not going, they've got a problem. Honking your horn is not going to help the situation. FYI. But I got it running again, and we're heading back to the house with my tacos before they get soggy. And yeah, it's really bad. So there will be no no zip tie drags for this car unless I can get the transmission fixed before now and October 1st. Now I don't think that's gonna happen. So it almost didn't get me home from tacos, and that's only about a half a mile away. So, and I'm not home yet. I've still got another block to go. Keep your fingers crossed. Running a stop sign. Yep. And everything was going so well. How did I know that it would strand me in an intersection? How did I know? Come on, baby. Ooh. Okay. I made it. Oh, it's downshifting crazy hard. But I made it, and on the bright side, the air conditioner works really good. It won't go into reverse. It will go into drive, but it will not go into reverse. Well, I knew I was gambling when I took this car out for a drive. It's too far from the curb to leave it here, so... Okay, got it to go in reverse by shutting it completely off, letting it sit for a second, restarting it, and then it went into reverse. But yeah, this thing's pretty bad. Here's one of the projects. This was some unusable cabinet space, so took that all out and put in a nice wine cooler. And here's the butcher block that I'm going to use the remnants from this for the thing I'm going to make for the motorhome out there. But that's one. And this bathroom, it came completely out down to the bare slab and clear down to the bare walls, the studs. And so this all took a while to do. I don't know. So here's my leftover piece of butcher block, and I already have a round over cut on this end. It came with just square edges like that. So this one hasn't been sanded or cleaned up or anything. So I'm going to go get the piece out of the coach and set it here and compare what I've got to what I've got. Well, I have it sitting here. And you can see, looking at this, ow, that it's very water damaged. This is from when there was a bad sealing hatch, and it allowed this leak to drip on this, and you can see that the plywood is all completely split apart, totally water damaged. So this is all pretty much a total loss. But I was thinking about it. This glass piece, like I showed you before, it actually looks kind of neat when it's got a light underneath it. This is not the ideal light, of course, but it is translucent. So wouldn't that be kind of cool to take this glass frame, or glass and aluminum frame, or steel, or whatever it is, and make a little wall hanging out of it that lights up, uses 12-volt low draw, LED, and use it either in the bathroom or use it somewhere actually on the motorhome as a nod to the vintage decor that it came with. So I might have to do that with this. So I'm going to recover this metal frame and this glass out of this wood, and then we'll just use this wood as a pattern. And you'll see we have to cut some of this. I mean, it's not lined up back here. We'll get the right measurement, and maybe we'll cut some of this off and add it to the front so we can mimic these shapes a little bit, but we'll see. Here you can see the back, and it's got these little legs that held it up where all of this wouldn't rest right on the stove. So I'm going to have to replicate something like that on the bottom of my butcher block so it sets nicely like this one did. And then interesting how this glass is held in with these 4 little just simple screw things. And yeah, look how bad this is. this thing is just gone. Okay, so I'm going to take this out. Yep, got the glass out, and I took off these silly legs. And there was 3 glass retainers. One was missing. And let's go and double check fit. With those little legs off, you see that it just is going to rest right here on this rail on the stove. So those 4 little legs that held the other one up a little higher were only to give enough clearance for the glass retainers for the silly bird glass thing. Anyway, so you can see that this pushed all the way back. There's still a pretty good gap back there. A little smaller on that side, so it's not perfectly square back there. I'm pretty sure that this panel is square, but I'll double check that. And we see how it fits here. So I could have it actually extend down a little bit more. Well, I guess you want to be able to use this knob. This is the control for the oven. But yeah, so I probably don't want it to come down much more than where it is here. It could come out further this way, that's for sure, a little bit. And it can certainly be thicker this way, which is going to have to be because this is 3/4 roughly, and my butcher block is like 1.5 inches thick. So it's going to be about double the thickness here. But I think when I cut off the part I need to cut off, I will add it to the front here, and it'll give us a little lip like this. And then I can actually undercut it a little bit where it fits properly here, but it'll be 1.5 inches thick. Maybe the front won't be 1.5 inches. We'll have to see. I'll see how it all works out. But okay, so I'm gonna probably have to add something underneath to keep it from sliding off real easy. Yeah, it looks like there's a little channel there, so I'll be able to add something to the new one that actually clips down or slips down into that little slight crack. Just a little bit. It won't take much, and that'll keep it from wanting to slide out when I make left turns. We wouldn't want that. Alright, well, I got a bunch of measurements done, and I laid myself out here, so I think if I cut on this line and this line with my table saw, then I'll be able to use this and cut it to make an add-on on the front here that's already got a we'll see. But I gotta go cut this now. Okay, gotta set the fence right, put on my perfectly clean, crystal clear face shield. Safety first. We have our 2 basic pieces cut, our main piece, and this is the top facing up, and then our front piece. And after looking at it, I think what I'm going to do here, before we put them together, I'm going to cut this top piece where I'm going to cut it back like somewhere here, and then down here, so this goes away. And when this attaches here, of course, this will be up higher. It'll be up there, and there'll be a lip. I might even cut this a little further up. So there's a fairly pronounced but not huge lip here. And then it will come out, and it will go down and be about the same drop as before, but it won't be quite as thick, because all of this will fit right over here. And that way, when I'm gluing this on, I'll be able to use 1.25 inch brads from the front to hold it in place, and they'll be able to reach, because this will only be about 3/4 inch left rather than 1.5 inches. Anyway, that's the plan. Okay, we got it cut. We got it clamped up, glued. I'll put the nails in a couple minutes, and then gonna have to let it sit overnight. We'll pick this up again tomorrow. Okay, let's see how this played out after sitting overnight. Okay, gonna need to sand and smooth everything. Get rid of some of the excess glue. I think that looks pretty good. Couple cracks, but that's all right. I have sanded everything, and I used 220 for most of it. I trimmed like a 32nd of an inch off of both sides to make it so this was perfectly flush right here. This little joint, there's still a little gap right there. That's okay. And now I'm trying to clean out any glue from this crack right here. But I've gone over the whole thing. I've broken all these edges over so they're kind of nice and rounded off. And once I get all of this glue cleaned out of this crack here, I'm going to go ahead and oil it. I used most of my sandpaper by hand and always running it with the grain. I did use the orbital, this guy here, when I was sanding these edges, because they would have taken a long time to get all the little saw marks out, especially this edge, because that's the one that faces the kitchen sink when it's resting on the stove. So I'm going to go ahead and oil it. I'm going to use this stuff, Booze Block Mystery Oil. It is safe to maintain and preserve all wood surfaces for food preparation. That's the important part, because this is going to be used for food preparation. Not going to be shy, because it's going to soak up quite a bit at first. So I'm going to have to reapply this a few times over the next few hours and get it to soak in all over the place. My problem's probably going to be where this glue line is, but you know what? Doesn't look too bad. Nice. Okay. Well, let me finish this. And it doesn't really have to be this special mystery oil. Mineral oil would do just fine. So I think it's time to test fit this thing. Let's see what it looks like on the stove. Oy! This thing is kind of heavy. Ugh. All right. Nice. How about that? That's pretty good. Can still use the knob here. Yeah. Got a little lip to keep stuff from rolling off here. I guess they call those, oh, I might be wrong. I think they call them like a fiddle or something like that in a boat. But anyway, that should keep stuff from rolling off this way. And this way it just goes into the sink. Okay, that worked out good. That looks nice. And yeah. So I have enough of this wood left to make only one of these. So I'm going to try to make one of these. And meanwhile, I think that's a vast improvement over the glass panel that was in there. Maybe it's not as retro as the crazy bird panel was, but that's okay. This is way more useful, and believe me, I know this thing is going to get scuffed up, it's going to get knife marks, it's going to get hack marks, it's going to get stains, it's going to get wine spilled on it, it's going to have all sorts of awful things happen to it that will make it look worse than it does right now. And I think with the huge thickness that I have here, I should be able to sand it and re-oil it from time to time to give it a little bit longer life, but I'm guessing this will work just fine for us as long as we need it to. And if I need to make another one, you saw it wasn't that hard. It's hot as hell in here. I have the front AC going. I'm going to try to fix this rear AC probably in the next day or so. I'll probably make a video about it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know anything about... I kind of know how AC systems work, but that's really it. So, might be a learning process involved. Thanks for watching.